It is Monday, October 17th of 2022, and you are watching and or listening to Guy's Daily Drive. Bam! And good morning and welcome to Guy's Daily Drive. You know, I was just talking about the weather, as I sometimes do before I start doing this. Oh, hold on. And if there's one thing that fall and winter bring, in relation, at least in relation to doing Guy's Daily Drive, is that you don't typically have the really, really bright glare that you get during the spring and summer. So, yeah, you know, all you have to do is put up with cold temperatures, the possibility of snow, gale force winds, and you know, all of the unpleasantness of dealing with very, very cold temperatures. But on the plus side, there's no glare for Guy's Daily Drive. So good job for me. That makes me very happy, sort of. Now, one of the things that we had wanted to do when we went to Long Island, we were going to meet up with some friends who live in Asbury Park, New Jersey. We were going to meet them, I guess it's kind of halfway, at the Mutter Museum in Philadelphia. I guess it's not halfway for us, but it's still a pretty good distance from Asbury Park too, but not as far as what we have to go. And we were going to meet them and have lunch and see this Dracula exhibit at the Mutter Museum. But because of things that our friends had going on, one of their sons were coming to town, and the other one had a big work deadline. She works from home, so had to deal with that. So we weren't able to meet with them. But that doesn't mean we're not going to go to the ever so fascinating and fun Mutter Museum. So this weekend, Saturday, we're going to drive 3 plus hours, to meet with them for lunch and to see this Dracula exhibit. Though for me, it's mostly about the lunch. I'm not a big fan of the Mutter Museum. And I think I've talked about this before. The Mutter Museum is filled with like human oddities and examples of different parts of the human body that's been preserved, and it kind of started out as, actually it still is, it's a medical museum. So people that are in the field or are fascinated by the different things that the human body can do, they have absolutely no problem going to the Mutter Museum and looking at all the exhibits and being just astounded at the different kinds of things that can come into or be part of the human condition. Now, for me, I am not in the field, and I am not at all fascinated by what comes out of, could be inside of, or be part of the human condition. So I get the feeling that once we have completed whatever, and I have no idea what this Dracula thing is going to be all about. And considering that Dracula is a fictitious character, I'm not really sure. Excuse me. I'm not really sure what they're going to show, because you can't show something of the human body that isn't really real and claim that it's real. So I don't know. We'll see what that's going to be all about. But once we've done that, oh, what is wrong with my voice this morning? Once we've done that, I'm not going to be really all that interested in looking around the rest of the museum. I mean, I've done it before. I've seen the rest of the museum, or at least all the stuff that was there 10 plus years ago, and I can't imagine there's going to be all that much new stuff that's going to be of interest to me. So I'll probably duck out and just go over to the lobby at that point, because I just don't care about those things. But it will be good to see our friends from our friends from New Jersey. Haven't seen them in a while. I haven't seen them in a while. Tracy goes up there on a semi-regular basis because she's retired and can do those things. I am not retired. So it's going to be like 3 hours up, 3 hours back, plus, a pee stop or snack stop or God knows what. Just get out of the car kind of stop. And that was the part that really concerned me, was, 7 hours likely of driving to go to lunch and to see this exhibit, and of course to see our friends. But Tracy is saying that she's going to help with the driving, so it's like, okay, good. I typically do all the driving, and it's not uncommon for us to drive 7 hours plus in a single day. But this is a little bit different in that it's, 3+ hours of driving, then walking around and looking at this exhibit, and then 3 hours back. So I don't really know how that's going to affect me and the trip. Scoot over here. But it's not ideal. I had actually suggested that we spend the night and go do some other stuff in Philadelphia. But she doesn't want to spend the night, so we're not going to do that. So it's a lot of driving, but she's going to help. And she does, and I'm making it sound like she sits on her side of the car and goes, "No, I will not drive." But that's not true. She's always willing to drive when I get tired, or whatever. It's or maybe even that she wants to drive. Doesn't happen often. She's usually pretty content with me driving the whole distance. So she's going to take over part of that for the way home. But everything, that's basically everything that's going to be going on this weekend. And then we'll, of course, hopefully Gaz and I will record a podcast on Sunday. And actually, we recorded on Saturday, my Mac 911, and I got out the audio that day. I did the video yesterday, and I did a couple of the mini bits yesterday. And this morning I did a few more mini bits, but I've got all of the mini bits uploaded to YouTube, and also the Guy's Daily Drive audio feed for at least 2 of them. And some of them I have scheduled for tomorrow and Wednesday, so that it's not just all out at one day. There's still a couple of audio snippets that I need to get uploaded, but they're converting right now from video, so I couldn't do them before I left for work this morning. But they will also be there. They will also be there pretty soon. I don't typically like recording the show on Sundays because that means I have to do all of the editing for both the audio and the video in a single day, and that's quite a bit of work. Not as much work as it was in the past when we still had a break in the show, like halfway through, more or less. But it's still a lot of work. Okay, go ahead. But that's, you know, I mean, if you're going to do a podcast and you're going to have it out on a weekend and you record on a Sunday, well, then doing all of the editing is what you got to do. So on that Sunday, that's just the way things go. Still hoping to get a trip down to Florida. And as I've said before, I've got a JetBlue credit card, and I got a ton of miles, which means that my flight down there and back, and it doesn't matter whether I fly to Fort Lauderdale or Orlando, will be free. It won't cost me anything to make that flight. So normally, to save on costs, even though it takes a lot longer to do so, I would rent a car up here, drive it down to Florida, and then drive it back and turn the car back in here. But if I've got a free flight, that's $300-400 that I don't have to spend, and that more than makes up for an extra 2 days for a rental car and 2 nights in a hotel. Plus, I'll get there faster and be able to spend more time in Florida. Now, this particular time, because of the hurricane and just general damage in question, not so much to Fort Lauderdale, but to Daytona. When I'm in the Daytona area, I usually stay either with my brother Bill or my nephew Bill at their particular domiciles. But I think this time, while I'm in that area, I'll just go ahead and get a hotel, so it's not as bothersome. You know, I'm very, very appreciative of the fact that they opened their homes to me, but I know that it's an imposition, because you have to, you know, when you have somebody at your house, it's not just a question of, you know, saying, okay, well, here's where you're going to sleep. You have to spend a lot of time, you know, however much time that they're going to be there, you have to spend with them to make sure that, not so much that they're entertained, but that you're able to get done all the things that you want to do, and to show your appreciation and all the rest. And, you know, with family, I don't really see how or why that's necessary. I'm more than happy to help Bill out, my brother Bill, with whatever computer stuff that he may need to have done. And I'm very, very grateful for my nephew Bill, so that, you know, going surfing when he has the time and all of that. But his house is flooded. My nephew Bill's house is flooded, and it's going to be going through some extensive renovations. So he's, you know, there's not really going to be an easy place for me to stay this time. so that's fine. You know, I'll just stay in a hotel when I'm in the Daytona area, and still do the things that that they would like me to do. So I think that is going to do it for today for Guy's Daily Drive. I hope you have a wonderful week. I don't know when the next time is that I will be recording the next one, but when I do, it'll be there, whatever that means. If you'd like to get a hold of me, my email address is guy@mymac.com or podcast@vertshark.com. Vertshark.com is the website that you will eventually be able to go to and see all of the new stuff over there on the YouTubes. If you subscribe to the Vert Shark channel, you will not only get whatever stuff I may make for Vert Shark, you will also get all of the videos for Guy's Daily Drive and all of the snippets that I was talking about earlier for the mymac.com podcast. So if you use YouTube, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Did you see it? Like, share, subscribe. Those three things. And smash that like button. Hit that notification bell. Blah, 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 blah. Sometimes all that stuff is like just so annoying, so in your face. I mean, I understand why they do it, but it's like, if I was going to subscribe to your content, I probably would have already done so by now. If I've watched more than one, I would have subscribed if I wanted to see a bunch more. Anyway, if you would like to contribute and help me pay for all of this stuff, though you don't have to, you can go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/MacParrot. You can buy me a coffee, ko-fi.com/MacParrot, or pay a pal over there at PayPal, paypal.me/MacParrot. You can follow me on the Twitters. I am MacParrot and Vert Shark over there on the Twitters. What else? Oh, telephone number. I haven't talked about this in a while, though no one's ever called it for Guy's Daily Drive. It's a Skype number, but you can dial it from any phone, 703-436-9501. That's going to do it for today, so thank you. Thank you all so very, very much for joining me on Guy's Daily Drive, and I will see all of you next time right here on Guy's Daily Drive. Bye-bye.